What up, Pokenet? Thanks for coming and checking out the video. Today we're going to take a look at, is Pitch Black the next Twilight Masquerade? Man, so we're going to take a look at what are in the sets, how good decks are coming out of there, and we'll look at some tournament results and kind of check out what's going on. I mean, realistically, Twilight Masquerade has some of the best decks and mechanics there are right now, right? So it'll be interesting to see, especially as we move towards rotation next year, will Pitch Black replace it as the best deck, the best TCG set in the format? It'd be kind of interesting to see what we think. So let's go take a look. Let's see what's in the sets and take a look at some of the tournament results too and see what's going on with those things. So if we go look at what came in Twilight Masquerade, I mean, kind of blew my mind as I went back through here because there's a few cards we don't even think about when we look into the format, right? I mean, we've got the festival leads. This has been a deck that's been around since it came out and still evolving, and man, it's been winning a bunch of online tournaments recently, playing really well. Again, that's a deck that's going to have some success for sure. And then we have one of the best cards in the format with Teal Mask Ogerpon. But even with Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon, those are very playable cards that are used in many different decks right now. So again, a couple other cards that are just really strong in the meta. Another one I saw was going through here was the Chandelure, right, which is making a little bit of a comeback now with the Mega Chandelure deck. I saw that today, literally on TCG Live as I was playing. Chi-Yu has been a good counter at times for some of the grass decks. But we also have other things like the Frostlass, right? I mean, again, that's showed its way through many different decks to be successful way to spread damage. But we also have we also have Wellspring Mask Ogerpon, which for a long time was, again, a great way to not just trap something in the active, but also, again, be able to spread damage with Torrential Pump. And then, it's hard. I forget about this card, which is Iron Thorns. I mean, heck, it's a world championship deck, and it came from Twilight Masquerade, right? Which is just wild. Again, another card from this set that has just been so good through stretches of its time in the TCG. When we see this Abra with Teleporter has been good in multiple different decks, still getting run in certain things. And then we got things like, I mean, Monkey Dory, again, I mean, just been massive in the meta since this came out. Again, another card I saw was King Keldor. I mean, this is a card that was successful and can still get played. It's not as common now within the Slowking deck, but it was really successful in that deck for a while. And we got the Greninja EX, the Terra Greninja. Ting Lu had a little deck of its own at one point that was really successful. Again, we talked about Cornerstone. Okidogi has had stretches where it was pretty good. And then we even have the Heat Train in here, which was another deck that was really good when we put it with the Matang. And then obviously Dragapult, right? I mean, certainly the BDIF for sure at this point, and it may maintain that until this rotates out. But one thing when we go look at tournaments, right, is Dragapult in particular, but a lot of these other cards, it took some time to build the best decks with them, right? It wasn't just right away. Again, Tadzagiri, another card that gets a ton of run. And then we got Blood Moon Ursaluna, which was a one-off in a lot of different decks for a long time there. And even the supporters are pretty dang good with Enhanced Hammer as a trainer card. Carmine is fine. We got Kieran, Lanaze. These are cards that have certainly found their way into the meta through times. And then obviously the A-specs are monsters, right? Seeker Box, Unfair Stamp, Legacy Energy. I mean, those are some of the best A specs we have within the game. So again, interesting. I mean, so many playable cards. So is Pitch Black the new Twilight Masquerade, right? I mean, do we have enough cards that are going to fit into that? So let's go take a look at what we've got within Pitch Black. So again, we have the hide and sneak deck. I think we're still working on the best 60 for that. But it has shown stretches of being successful. Heck, I actually like the Mega Delphox. I mean, I don't think it's going to be great within the meta, but it has a fun mechanic, obviously, of its own. This Manectric, I think Mega Manectric with Manectric has a chance of being something successful through the meta. I think that's one that still needs some tweaking within the meta. I want all you can yeet to be good, man. I want Slowpoke, Slowbro, Mega Slowbro to be great. Again, I don't know if it's going to get there. Again, Hide and Sneak has been great. Mega Chandelure maybe has some chances to get better. But the fact that we have the fossils coming back in this set, and I still don't think we've seen the best deck out of those. So the fact that we've got this Rampardos, we have some options there. I think we're gonna find that can be better and get some good 60s out of it. And then I want Mega Darkrai to be amazing. I mean, again, I think it hasn't shown that yet. But maybe once Mist Energy rotates out, is Mega Darkrai going to be better? I think the answer to that is yes. So post-rotation, that's going to be one I think we'll see some more success with. And then again, with Bastiodon, a lot of these decks that are in format right now are running low energy count attackers, and so Bastiodon can make things really awkward for people. Mega Excadrill, right? Again, this is one that I think can be successful, can certainly win some tournaments. Be interesting to see how it plays through the rest of the year. I love Toucannon, right? This has been a fun deck to play. So many different variations. I think it might be more successful here towards the end of the year. After rotation, and once we lose Terra Pokemon, though, it's going to be a little bit tougher for sure. At least the ones that we're mainly using right now, right? And as far as the supporters go, right? I mean, Gwyn has been a great way to draw, but that's probably where it kind of ends, right? We don't have very many good items. I mean, the energies are fine. Voltaic and Shadowy are decent special energies. But I think that's where it falls maybe shorter than what we got in Twilight Masquerade, right? Is the trainer cards are not near as good. But so can these decks be successful now, right? Do we think we're going to have these do great at Worlds? Again, I've said it in other videos. I think there's a way we can see one of these decks finish probably top 16 at Worlds. I think that this Excadrill deck has certainly a chance to make a little bit of a run. So it's going to be fun to see how this plays out. How do we see these decks at Worlds? But let's go take a look here. We're going to look at some past tournaments and how these things kind of affect some stuff. So we're going to go back a little bit. So if we go back to when Twilight Masquerade first became legal, and so the first tournament it was legal with, as long as I remember this correctly, was NAIC in 2024. So that would have been the first weekend Twilight Masquerade was legal. If we go take a look, I mean, we can see it's a lot of Gardevoir, Lost Box at the time, but there actually was a pretty dang high finish with Dragapult. Let me find where it was at here. Where are you at, Dragapult? I know I saw you here a minute ago. Right here. So 38th. So Dragapult first weekend out, it finished 38th at NAIC, which is crazy, right? That's a heck of a good finish. So again, I think something can do that from this set at Worlds. I think something can certainly finish maybe even a little bit higher. It'll be interesting to see where we're at. We'll come back and take a look at this after Worlds. But after that, it really didn't show much success. We didn't see a lot of Dragapult winning after that through the rest of the year, right? So, say we go take a look at like Sacramento regional, we don't see much Dragapult, right? I mean, we've got tons of, we got Terrapagos and Cloths, and Reggie Drago was a great deck through that part of the format, right? So, certainly, unfortunately for a lot of people, Snorlax was playing well. So again, not much success. But as soon as we got out of rotation, right, we rotated into the next one. If we go take a look at the regional here, damn, it's everywhere, right? I mean, we got what, five of the top 8 finishers are Dragapult. Same thing as we scroll down, tons of Dragapult. It's filling up the top 32. Super successful, and it's been that way since, right? I mean, it's been the best deck in the format. So how do we think Pitch Black is going to compare? I mean, I think, again, it's going to take some time to make the perfect 60 for some of these, right? Darkrai, I think, is going to be better after we get through rotation. I think it's going to be interesting to see what we can do with some of these fossils, right? With Bastiodon. Mega Excadrill, I think, is going to be pretty successful now before we get to rotation. Again, I think Toucannon is going to be pretty dang good. I think we're still waiting to see the best 60. And I think once we get there, it's going to be one of the better decks within the format for sure. We had a video that just posted where we went on a massive run, and we hit for 470 with Toucannon, right? So a single prize attacker for 1 energy hitting 470. Damn, that was so huge. And what a fun way to take KOs. And that's how I like playing Pokemon, massive hits. So again, I think Toucannon is going to have some success, and hopefully it does well at Worlds, has a few decks that do well. In Hide and Sneak, I think we're still trying to find the right way to get it played, the right numbers. But again, I think it's one that's going to be really good, and I think next year, once we get through rotation, it has the opportunity to be even better. And then I still want Mega Manectric to be good. I don't know if we're there yet, but I want it to be good. And somebody let me know if they're playing the Mega Delphox. I think there can be some fun decks. I don't think they're going to be necessarily successful, but fun. So again, you gotta let me know, is Pitch Black going to be the next Twilight Masquerade? I think it's very possible, right? It's better than a lot of the sets we've had recently within the TCG meta. And so I'm pretty pumped. This was the set we needed. We need something that can kind of fix things up, right? Give us some new decks outside of Dragapult, more varieties. Certainly, I wouldn't say this is anywhere near as strong as what we got out of Twilight, but I do think it's going to carry the meta through stretches, right? Especially after rotation. I think we're going to see a lot of these decks do well. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I think this is a great set. We've been pumped to play new decks. So again, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Smash the like button if you haven't already. Go subscribe. Check out the channel. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, we sign off with, have a Poketastic day.